Hello, everybody out there in the internet. Welcome to TKKN and Buff Save the Universe, episode number 50. It is. I'm not
Yes.
done yet, Buff.
Oh,
It
I just
is
thought that you were 50.
Wednesday, June 22nd, 2022. I'm Chris M. Tekken Master, joined by.
Buff Larkin, number 50, with the Wolverine cover, with the claws scratching the cover. Iconic. An iconic cover, number 50. And that's where we're at. Tekken, it took us 50 years to get to the 50, to episode 50, but I wouldn't have wasted one episode to get to this point. You're a good man, and I've had a whole bunch of fun getting to 50. Let's go for another two more.
Or it could be like the Saga Book 1 that has the first. I think it's the first 40, not
Oh,
the first
God.
50, with the
Yeah.
breastfeeding cover.
Yeah, exactly. Surprise. In this episode, Tekken starts breastfeeding people. Absolutely. Today's episode is going to be a little mishmash of a whole bunch of stuff. In video games, I uh, I I purchased something that it's going to send Tekken off the rails on a crazy train. In wrestling, we're going to talk about the Forbidden Door that's coming up this weekend. And in other news, I have and Joe Biden's Joe Biden, and January 6th is January 6th, and everybody's going to get theirs, and I got I got a front seat to it, and it's going to be fun.
What are you talking about?
I don't know. It sounds like they're having a good old time down there in the states, um, ripping apart good old Trumpy. So maybe this is the start of something. And all the right wing, and all the right wing television places, they're losing their lawsuits. They want to get it dismissed against the against Dominion, and Dominions is keeps winning and winning and winning. It's going to be fantastic, and it's that somebody's going to pay. Somebody's going to pay, and it's not going to be Dominion.
I'll
That's
believe
the
it when I
best part.
see it. There's only like two impeachment trials where he didn't get convicted, and now it's like, oh man, you really tried to not have the election get certified, but hey, no consequences. Whatever, we'll see.
We'll see. We'll see. I'm excited. But anyways, let's get to talking about video games because that's what a lot of people want to listen to, video games. And you know what last week was, Tekken? Last Sunday?
Uh, Double or nothing.
No, I said video games.
Oh,
Last
oh,
week,
I don't know.
last
Was
Sunday
that the?
was
Actually, I don't know what last Sunday was.
no, just last Sunday
That was Summer Game
was
Fest.
Father's Day.
Oh,
It's Father's Day.
I
Frick's
wouldn't have known
sake.
that.
Yeah, it's WrestleMania. No, it's Father's Day, Tekken. And so, well, I hope not. Not that we know of. Anyways, anyways, so I decided to treat myself to something that I didn't think I would do, but I said, "What the hell, Sean LaBelle? Let's have some fun." So I went and I purchased from the PlayStation Store the PlayStation Plus Premium package.
Wow, what a sucker.
Not for a guy like me. I'm not a sucker.
Continue.
I'm not because uh, for you, Tekken, because you are a connoisseur of the video game arts. That this kind of stuff.
I like that
Eh,
title.
the connoisseur of the video game arts. Write
Yeah.
that down because that can be the title. Number 50, connoisseur of the video game arts. All right, or even better, the connoisseur of the digital arts. There, that's even better. Now, so you have all these games. You've played all these games. For me, when I get on there, it's like a smorgasbord of whatever I feel like. And Tekken, what do you think was the first game I streamed
Some wrestling
on the
game,
wrong?
some
And let me
golf
just say
game,
this:
some shooting
when I,
game.
when I first went on there, I thought I could get WWE 2022 free in theory, right?
You know you can
Stream
look
it.
at the library before you do that, don't you?
I know, and I saw it, and I went, "Oh, okay, I can stream it." Well, it's a trial game, so I have 3 hours to play it, which is better because by then I'll find all the glitches and it won't be anything anyway. So that's fine. But anyways, so I checked that out. But the very first game I picked, because I'm a good man, is that I streamed Frogger for my girlfriend.
What
And
version
so
of it was it? Was it the old school Namco Museum thing, or
no, it was the updated one.
oh, or like
Yeah,
PS3?
maybe.
Because I don't
Was
think
it?
the PS1 one's on there. 'Cause I didn't see it. Cause I looked at all the
No,
PS1 games,
but I think it was PS3 because the
and I know
quality
there's not
looks
a
like
PS2 game on
PS3.
there because I've looked through the PS3 2 collection and it is lacking, for lack of a better
Yeah.
word.
So I picked up Frogger and it won me many bonus points. Tekken, many bonus points. And so, but then I this week because my girlfriend's gone off to Germany, which is a very fun story so far of all the calamity she has to deal with. Um, so I've been trying out some different games. So I picked up Hot Shots Golf Out of Bounds. And let me just say, I remember playing that game when it was on the PS. Was it PS4
I don't
or
know. I'd have to look it
PS3?
up.
I think it's PS. I think it's PS3 because everybody's golf
Actually,
is
yes, I have to
PS4.
say most of the games on there are PS3 if you're streaming them, and then I already know like the catalog of the PS1 and 2 because they're like 38 and they're not that great, and PS PS4 is like I know most of those games, and I don't believe Out of Bounds is PS4,
No,
so it's not.
I think
It's
Hot
PS3.
Shots Golf ended in theory PS3, and then they flipped
Yeah,
it to
because everybody's
everybody's
golf
golf,
was PS4. Yeah.
and then they decided the PS5. But the PS5, they said, forget about it. We won't even have a golf game on PS5 except for if you transport PS4 over to PS5, which is a travesty of justice. Travesty, Tekken. Ridiculous. But, anyways, so I played Hot Shots Out of Bounds. So I remember playing it. And oh, what a piece of trash that game is.
Wait,
I
wait, wait,
couldn't
wait,
believe
wait.
it.
So you played it before?
I played it. I played it back on P when it was
Then why would
PS
you play it now if it's trash?
because I didn't think it was trash at the time,
Oh.
but time has changed my opinion. And so and like the you're doing the power gauge and it's not even responsive to your touch. It's like you hit it right at the very end. Nope, you're missing out by like 10%. It's like what the heck? And then trying to hit it right on the dot, you're missing that. It's just maybe it was the PS5 controller, maybe it's something different. It
Maybe it
just
was
was
the
not.
latency.
Yeah, it wasn't the responsiveness that you need to have in a golf game. So I was shooting horribly, kind of like what I shot last week in everybody's golf. Yeah, you remember that. Anyways, so I checked that game out and I quickly deleted it. I tried another couple games and I always and here's what being your friend, and I think I'm your friend. You always say that I'm not, but I think I am because we have this podcast. So obviously, I mean something to you. I always remember what you say to me. It says, if you buy two games, it pays for itself.
I never
For
said
me,
that.
yeah.
What the F are you talking about?
When you talk about your Game Pass, you always say, "All I do is buy two games; it pays for itself."
Oh
Oh,
yeah, cause okay,
oh,
that
with my
you did
thingy.
not phrase that
Oh,
correctly, dude. It's like okay, the price of it over time,
when do
collectively,
I?
total versus
Oh,
buying games singularly is better deal to get the Game Pass because it
yeah,
pays for itself.
yes, and that's what I'm thinking too. Anyways, back onto
Well, I mean,
my line of
I mean,
thinking.
for you, yeah, it makes more sense. But for me, it's like, pff, dude, I don't need those games. I got plenty of games. It's no reason to buy
Exactly.
it. So
You are a
I take back what I
connoisseur.
said about you being a sucker because I guess it works for you. So maybe you're just a
You
lollipop.
you you are a connoisseur of the video game arts. That's what you are. Anyways, back onto my story. So, anyways, but for being a Canadian, right? How much is a year pass for you on the PlayStation Plus?
Depends on which tier. Are you talking about like
Yeah, well,
the best one
premium.
with all the good
Might as
stuff?
well go all the way,
I think it's
baby.
120. I
Yeah,
have to look. I'll have to look it up real quick. I don't know
I
off
think
the top of my
mine
head.
I think mine was 134. So in theory, in Canada, a game is $90, 80 to $90 for a game. So you're looking at a game and a half
Wow.
and
See,
that's not it.
you don't even
That's
get
not
two
a bad
games for the
deal.
price of your subscription.
Yep.
I'm sorry,
So
that's funny.
hey, but that's okay. I got Bouncy Tina if I need to. I got
I don't believe that's called that, Buff.
whatever. Bouncy Tina's Wild Ride or whatever it's called. And then
Wow.
then there's the Assassin's Creed. You can get that, or Death Stranding. You can get that because they they'll give that one for free. That's that. I think they didn't they, on PlayStation Plus already? That game. Did you
Uh,
ever play
I
that game?
I have Death Stranding. I liked it. I mean,
You like
I got to the end. I couldn't finish it, but I did enjoy it. I got stuck at the
is
very
it?
end. Like I don't know what happened. My game was like being weird, and then I like was like, dude, I'm not replaying this, and just but well, for now, my current thingy, it's like I could upgrade, and it would be like the price of a game to get premium for 12 months, or the remaining on my subscription for like a year for plus or a year plus a plus. I could get like premium for 62.13 and extra for 41 something, but it's like it's not worth it. Well, it's not that it's not worth it. It's just like I don't need any of it, so it's like I'm not about to upgrade for something I don't need, and then it's like I'm stuck with that plan to like re up. So it's like yeah, pass. So I mean, I could just go back to
So
essential, but it's like there's no point. So
yeah, so for me, it's like okay, you get this for a year, all right, and it goes all the way, and I bought them with gift cards,
oh, it is
right?
one.
So
It is
they're
120. It's 120 for 12 months on
there
premium.
you go.
It does say it. Okay,
So for you, it's like what,
it's two
a
games.
game and three
I
quarters, two
mean,
games.
unless it's first party, because now they're 70, so it's like it's even, it's not
Still,
even two games,
it's
so
a
it's
game.
even
It's a
more worth
game.
it, which
Yeah,
is weird.
yeah.
I just, man, I can't believe I didn't
Well,
think about that. Like, with their stupid first party pay or first party price increase, they like made the stupid paywall like even more of a deal. So it's like
can you say that 5 times quick for me? First party pricing.
first party paywall or first party price increase.
First party pay increase. I want to hear you do it
First
five
party
times
pay
quick.
increase, first party pay increase, first party pay increase, first party pay increase, first party pay increase.
Ah, you suck. All right, congratulations, congratulations. You're the hero of today. So, anyways, so I again, I'm sure this is Sony's strategy. You make it cheap to start to entice people, and then you jack up the price
They're
afterwards.
not going to increase
What's
price, dude.
what's the Game Pass? What's how much is that a year?
They don't have a yearly tier. It's like $15 a month. Because it's 180
So
for a year if you added up the monthly fee. Which I let me do
so when
my
so
calculator.
let's just say this. So a new game comes out for Xbox. How long does it take to get onto Game Pass? Immediately?
Depends on the game. Depends on the publisher. Depends on the deal they have with the publisher. Because all their first party stuff is day one, which is why it's such a. Here's the thing about Game Pass is like it's really good, but like right now they have no games until 2023. So it's like if you have Game Pass, there's and you're okay. It also depends on the type of games you play because like if you're in it like me for like the first party AAA, it's like well, there's no reason for me to even bother with this until Starfield because I want to play that next. I already played Forza. Yeah, there's other stuff on there. I could play like Gears 5 or Gears Tactics, FN. I'm not gonna play Halo because I don't care about Halo.
Is that a game?
Gears Tactics, yeah. Um,
No, no effing. Sign me up
no,
for that game.
but like they're lacking in first party, so it's like but it's all on there. It's like they have all the back catalog of all the old stuff or the stuff that's like out up until now, but like they've nothing new coming out until next year. So it's like until 2023, it's like well if you're in it for first party AAA goodness, pass. And then now that PlayStation has their own version of this, it's
Is
like
it more like Game Pass? Is that what you're saying?
but now that PlayStation has their own catalog thing with like third party stuff, and I think they also get Ubisoft stuff on theirs, and then on Game Pass you get EA stuff, but it's all Vault content, so it's none of it's like the newest stuff as far as like day
Yeah.
one from any of like the third party publishers that are major, which is why the Activision deal is like a big thing because then you'd be getting like Call of Duty day one, but then it's
Yeah.
like that's the thing about Activision Blizzard though is like yeah you'll get I mean from the Blizzard side those that's a slam dunk because it's like Diablo if they ever bring any of the Warcraft or World of Warcraft but like right now it's just Diablo, and there's there or like they convert StarCraft maybe, who knows? But it's like Overwatch and Diablo and any other like those games are gonna be day one on Game Pass. As far as Activision or the Activision stuff, it's like Call of Duty because they don't really have much output lately besides that. So we'll see what happens. But if you're into Call of Duty, there you go. But it's like
Yeah.
yeah, you're not getting like Assassin's Creed, the newest ones. I mean, it might be on there now because it's been like a year since the last one, or that one that came
Oh,
out at launch,
Valhalla.
Valhalla.
Okay, because I haven't.
Far Cry. I mean, it's like you're not gonna get it day one, but you'll get it like a year later, maybe 6 or 12 months later. Um, who knows? And like yeah, or like even the newest Resident Evil, it's not on there. So it's like there's you're not getting. Man, it's like you're not getting the games as they come out unless it's first party on Game Pass. But then there's a lot of indie stuff, smaller games. So if you're into that and you want to play those, as they come out and as they're on the service, which it
Like
cycles
Frogger.
through on time, or it cycles through, or they constantly rotate games through the library anyway. So it's like if you miss it when it's on there, it'll probably come back eventually. I imagine. I didn't have it for like more than a year, so it's like. But I imagine that is the case because I see it all the times on the store when I check the deals on there. Is that you'll see a game in the store, but it'll say available on Game Pass, and it's just they do kind of tend to cycle through the same games because Final Fantasy 13, 13 2 Lightning Returns, and then or 13 2 and then Lightning Returns. Like those three games are constantly on Game Pass and in the thing, or you could just buy them because they're backwards compatible. But you can play them on Game Pass either way if you want to buy it or play through Game Pass. Um, but then like yeah, like I said, just that's pretty much it. It's like you have day one AAA stuff, uh, day one indie stuff, and then like everything else is like the bigger games are like 12 to 18 months after they come out, and then the mid tier stuff's like 6 to 12 months or maybe day one. Because there's been like some decent indie games. Like I played Astria Ascending. I downloaded Sable. I didn't play it. I'd have to look at the stuff I played, but like it was because it was like a mishmash of like the indie stuff and then like the Microsoft AAA stuff that's already like day one, but it's always going to be in there because it's always going to be vaulted to be first parties. Their first party content will always be in Game Pass, so it's like if you want to just play first party stuff from Microsoft, just pick up a Series S in Game Pass, and it's pretty cheap to just pick like whatever they've got on the service. You can check it out, but right now it's kind of slim pickings depending on what you're into. There's also that it's like because if you're not into the indie stuff and then you just want to play the first party Microsoft stuff and like I want to play Redfall or Starfield, that's not until next year. So it's like and like if you don't care about gears or shooters, it's like you're just eh until whatchamacallit until gears or wait what is it gears or yeah it's like it's always depending on like what you're into. So there's that.
Perfect. So let's talk more about Frogger. No, I'm just kidding.
But then I think that's like the differentiation for like the plus premium is that you don't get first party games day one, but it's cheaper. So it's kind of a so it's like you don't get the first party awesomeness, but it's like you're paying less for the same service, which has like similar library features as far as like you get indie stuff, you get AAA stuff. I imagine like in the same like release windows, and then you get the Ubisoft stuff. So it's very comparable. It's not one to one. It's still apples and oranges, kinda, but whatever. If you know what you're into, you know what you're looking for. So it's whatever, or it's not whatever, but it's like it's like you can judge for yourself and go from there.
Perfect.
And if for
So
someone like you, it makes sense.
thank you. I'm
Even
glad. I'm
though
glad.
I don't feel like you're gonna. I mean, I don't know. I honestly felt after my time with Game Pass, it's like there's just too many games, and like you don't have enough time to play most of them. So it's like why even bother? But that being said, it is a good deal. It's like it's worth the money because it is just such a good deal. So it's like until they raise the price, if they ever do, it's like okay, cool. But like if they raise the price, it's like go f yourself. So yeah.
So do you know much about if they're going to release more games? Like every month they're going to release a new set of games, or is this just going to be
On
one batch plop on the premium or
uh,
on the PlayStation
they
Plus?
said that they're gonna rotate the library every 30 days or something. It said it on
Okay.
the PlayStation blog. I'd have to
Yeah.
double check while we're talking,
Because
but
the weird thing is, okay, on there I have XCOM 2. I already have it, but it's on the service. I have golf. It's already on the service. I have Guardians of the Galaxy. It's on the service. So there's lots of like those are games like right then that would have paid for everything. That would have paid for my years. So now it's about finding other things to play. And so I'm going to be very interested to see what's coming up. And of course, you got to remember, I'm a guy who isn't playing as much anymore. Uh, and so it's like this is something that I can go and play something like if hockey ever comes out, then I'll give it a shot. Or if like say wrestling comes out, I'll give it a shot. And so or if there's going to be a good shooting game, which I doubt will be, but if there is, then I give it a shot, right? So there's opportunity, and this gives me an opportunity though without I spend a certain amount of money to try a game out. And if it sucks, I don't feel bad because I could play 20 games this year and pay that price instead of paying triple that or quadruple that and not be happy with the game. This is a great way to test out a game and see if you like it without spending overt amount of money on it.
well, that's like the one thing that sucks though is like if you cancel, like I canceled Game Pass, but there's a game that you liked and you want to go back and play it, you don't own it. It's like, oh, well, I have to
Nope.
buy it now. But it's like,
Yep. Yep.
uh, you know, it's like I'd rather just play through
Now,
the
does your
subscription because I mean the games do go on sale when they're leaving on Game Pass, but it's like for me it's like I'd rather just be subscribed and then if it ever comes back play it then instead of just dropping the money because it's like dude it's like at that point it's like you might as well just keep like keep the standard model of the game comes out you buy it and you play it as opposed to subscribing, but whatever, teach their own.
all right. Now, so that's good. So, what game would you love to see on premium? What game would be on there that you would say that's a buy? I will buy the service if this game shows up.
That's not gonna happen, dude. It's like
Just
there
just
is no
live
game that
your
could be added that
fantasy.
would make it worth it. I mean, yeah, it's like I mean, only okay, I guess there's like one maybe. If they added Final Fantasy 14 and you didn't have to have a subscription, that would be worth it. And you could just play it without having to subscribe to the effing monthly or however many or like you didn't have to pay. You were able to just play it and then not have to pay the associated fee. That's like the only I think game that would do it for me. Because everything else, it's like
Okay.
I would just buy it, like if it comes out, or like yeah, or pre-order the game and then play it normally. Because I don't know. After my time with the Game Pass, I don't think this model doesn't work for me because it just you can't play what you want all the time since stuff's constantly rotating in and out. And then it's like if you're gonna buy the game anyway, it's like it's not like I can't afford it. So because once it's like out of their library, it's like you want to play the game. It's like oh, I have to buy it anyway. So it's like well that like what was the point? Unless you were able to like get everything out of it in the time that it was there. But since there's so many games, it's like that's not always going to happen. If there's like a bunch of games at the same time that you want to play, you can play one game at a time. But it's like if you don't have the time, you don't have the time. So there's nothing that's going to solve that problem.
Well, there you go. Okay. So let's turn. We'll talk. Well, as we delve in, because I had a whole year, baby. We're going to delve into this and enjoy it more and more and more. So that's good. Anyways, let's talk about wrestling now for a second. And this weekend comes something that is, if you are a fan of AEW and you have a inkling, uh,
Tinkling.
trickling, tinkling interest in New Japan or something different, the Forbidden Door pay-per-view is this weekend. And I know right now we're talking Dynamite is on. Zack Sabre Jr. just came out and said something. I don't know how. I'm just looking off of Twitter. But Brian Danielson will not be at Forbidden Door or Blood and Guts. And this is the kicker, Tekken, is that Blood and Guts is going to be in Detroit, which is 3 hours away from me, and I can't go because of my new job. Isn't that a kicker? If I was at my old job, I could say, "Hey." can take it off. This was I'm paying for it. Blood and guts. Tekken. I could have went and saw it. Darn it,
Hmm,
darn it.
hmm.
That's how like. Mm. Yeah, exactly. But the good news is that they're coming to Canada, and they're coming to Toronto, which is 2 hours away from me. So that'll be good. And if they come there, I am going to Toronto. That's for sure. But anyways, we're talking about the Forbidden Door, and so we're going to talk about the matches. I only have one, two, three, four, five, 6 matches so far. Sweet Mother God, don't make it like double or nothing because the boys came over for 6 o'clock. They didn't leave till 12:30 in the morning. That's how long that show was. Now, of course, the first hour from 6 to 7, we were watching an old War Games from WCW, and then between 7 and 8, we are dealing with the pre-show and all the hype, and then the show started at 8. So it's really 4.5 hours. But you tackle that in, it was like, it took forever. But anyways, so hopefully it's not a long one this go around. But I'll tell you the matches, and we can do our pick 'em and who's gonna win. All right, so. Oh, by the way, who picked the winner of the CM Punk Hangman Page world title match? I just want to make sure.
I guess you did, 'cause you said
Yes, I
CM Punk.
did. Yes, I did. Anyways, and then Lord knows, then he jumps into the crowd and he hurts and he breaks his foot. So there you go, or whatever injury he sustained. There you go. Ah, anyways, do you know that Impact TNA Impact Wrestling has been around for 20 years, longer than WCW was around, and longer than ECW was around.
No, I did not know that.
And they have almost as many fans. Anyways, it's true. Anyways, so kudos to Impact Wrestling for somehow being the cockroach of the wrestling industry and surviving everything. Ah, actually, we'll talk about this and we'll talk about Vince
Oh,
now.
I just looked it up, Buff. It says, oh, wait, I'll get back to. I mean, I have an update on the plus thing, but continue. I'll talk about it after this.
All right. So the match I got right now: Chris Jericho, Sammy Guevara, and Minoru Suzuki. Now you've seen Suzuki wrestle, have you not?
Yeah,
There, Tekken.
yeah.
He is my favorite. I tell you. Versus Shota Umino, Eddie Kingston in Wheeler, Utah. Well, Tekken, who do you think's going to win this match?
Wait, what was the first team? With Suzuki?
Jericho, Suzuki, and Guevara
Ah, okay, so it's the Hills. Okay. Um,
versus Umino, Eddie Kingston in Wheeler, Utah.
I mean, I don't know. I want to say Kingston, Yuta, and the other guy, but it's like it's not like all of the Blackpool Combat Club. It's just 1/3 of the Blackpool Combat Club,
Two,
and
yeah, one
then
third, yeah.
and the other team has like 2/3 of the inner circle or ex inner circle, or I guess Jericho Appreciation Society
Yes,
now. So
yeah.
they have more synergy going on there. Ah, but
Suzuki, baby. Suzuki. I'm gonna just see Suzuki and Eddie Kingston going up. How of a big fan are you of Eddie Kingston?
pretty. I quite enjoy him as a
He
character.
is he is
Yeah,
fantastic.
he's great.
He is absolutely fantastic. Yes, I think you're going with the same thought I am. With Jericho, Guevara, and Suzuki
Yeah.
because yeah, I the only if Eddie Kingston was not in this match, is 100% Jericho, Guevara, and Suzuki. But because he's in there, I can only give it an 80% chance that Jericho, Guevara, and Suzuki. I can see Guevara maybe getting pinned,
Also, I
but
think Jericho is gonna like do a fireball in the match just
and why would he do that,
because
Tekken?
he's a wizard.
That, good, you set that up. All right, yes, he's a wizard. That's right. Uh, all right, for the ROH and IWGP Tag Team Championships. I don't think that's right, but we'll see what happens. It's FTR versus United Empire versus Roppongi Vice, the returning Roppongi Vice. Oh, I hope the theme song gets back on there with Trent talking about McGriddles. That was the best part of that song. Have you never heard that song
I
with
have
his
not heard
version?
it.
Oh, hopefully they have it on YouTube. You can go and see Trent rapping about McGriddles. FTR versus United Empire versus Roppongi Vice. I don't think both titles are on the line. but I know who's getting pinned then. Voice from Rapungi Voice, but we'll see what happens. My guesstimation would be FTR winning,
Yeah,
but I
because
don't see them winning the
their titles are on the
belts.
line, so it's like I don't see them losing. Yeah.
Exactly. They say the IWGP and Ring of Honor Tag Team Championship. So I don't know if that means United Empire's belts are on the line to either, but I see FTR winning. That's for sure. And of course, Roppongi Vice being the team that gets pinned. I think that's how that's just to keep it nice and safe. We pin the people who aren't champions. That's how that is. Thunder Rosa versus Tony Storm for the AEW Women's Championship. This is interesting. This is interesting. This could be a change, or it might not. What do you think? What's your
I'm
take?
gonna go with Thunder Rosa.
Yeah, I think so too. Tony, I can see them going with Tony Storm, but I think there's still some road to go with Thunder Rosa. That's for sure. Unless they're trying to build Tony Storm as a champion over the summer, and then have Britt Baker face off with her in September or August at the next big pay per view for AEW. But I think we're gonna go with. I'm gonna go with Thunder Rosa. You're going with Thunder Rosa. For the IWGP United States Championship, Will Ospreay versus Orange Cassidy. This will be interesting.
Hmm. I don't know. This could go either way.
Well, I'll go first then, and I will say, and I will say Will Ospreay. It's going to be, my boys, my wrestling boys. They're saying, "What the heck is this Orange Cassidy guy? Like why would it have to be Orange Cassidy? There's a whole bunch of other people in AEW who could go against Will Ospreay, and like you watched last week, we saw a great match with him versus Dax from FTR. This could be, and if we give him another good wrestler, this could be like the match of the night. But people don't understand that when Orange Cassidy goes, once the gimmick of kicking your leg really softly goes by, he can go. This could be a very, very interesting match. I still say Will Ospreay retains.
Hmm. I'm just gonna say Orange Cassidy to disagree with you, just because I don't know. I just
Okay, that's
I
fine.
mean it's weird because like he just came back, but it's just like weird like he comes back and he gets a title shot, so it doesn't seem like he would win, but it's like whatever. So
Yeah. Four-way match for the AEW All Atlantic Championship. So I know a lot of that is being dealt with tonight on Dynamite, so I can't get into too much. We can pretty much guess who's going in there, though. We already have Pac moving on. We also have Ethan Page versus Miro. I think Miro won that, did he
yeah,
not?
he won.
There you go. And we have Penta versus Malachi Black. I imagine Malachi
Malachi
would.
did win.
There you go. Look at me. I'm already guessing them right. And then in New Japan, we have Hanma versus Clark Connors, and then we have Kanemaru versus Ishii. So Ishii gets through, I'm sure. This is all happening over in Japan, so hopefully I'll get figured out. Maybe it happened today in today's New Japan show. So I would say there's a chance Clark Connors beats Hanma because Hanma really can't go. But Hanma versus Ishii, it just throw it all away. Ishii, have you ever seen Ishii wrestle?
I don't know. I don't think I
The
have.
man has no neck. The
I,
man has no neck, and he's one of the best wrestlers in the world. So I'm gonna just put it there that Ishii's gonna be the fourth man. It's a four-way match for it. So it's Pac, Miro, Malachi Black, and Ishii. Good sir. Who do you think's gonna win between those four men?
uh, I would say my top two are Malachi Black or Miro.
Yeah. My guess is that Pac and Malachi Black cancel each other out, and that leaves Miro versus Ishii. And I would say Miro's going to win. He just came back. Give him a belt, even though they have like 85,000 belts in that federation now.
It's funny they just like increased it like way more than it was.
Exactly. But I think this is where our good friend Miro, the Redeemer, takes care of business. So that's good. So that's my pick on that. You going to go with that too?
Yeah.
No, that's good. Thanks for joining us. Anyway,
Well, I just said Miro or Malachi Black, so
Malachi Black. Yes, that's right. If you were to give a percentage on each wrestler on winning this, would Miro get 50% of your vote?
uh 40-40 for Miro, and Malachi, and then 10% to the other two.
There you go. There you go. And then last but not least, at least for what we have right now, which, like I said, is somebody's wrestling Zack Sabre Jr. It's a mystery surprise. We do not know who, but he's also going to be part of the Blood and Guts team with Moxley and all them the week after. Um, it is John Moxley versus Hiroshi Tanahashi for the interim AEW championship. A couple weeks ago, I would say, hey, Tanahashi, and Hiroshi Tanahashi's my man. He's my dude. I've been following him for the last 7 years. He's awesome. But and to have Tanahashi have the belt over the summer might be interesting. But at the same time, John Moxley is the guy, and I think they're trying to get him to fight the Wizard over the summer, and that might and either that's the feud, pro wrestling versus sports entertainment, right? Or then that might go to the big pay per view in September, or uh, or it's that's just a filler till hopefully CM Punk comes back and they can have Moxie versus Punk at the September pay per view. We don't know how long Punk is out for, so that's the whole key to all this. But I think as much as I love it, and I'd love to see Tanahashi be a big badass heel and just be and wrestle like that, I think Moxie's gonna win this belt.
I mean, I yeah, I mean I agree, Moxley, just because it seems to be like that is like the storyline for that of like Moxley chasing him down for like ever, and then
Yeah,
finally getting the match.
yeah. So I think Moxley and then into a feud with Jericho over the summer. All right. So unless he's playing with Fozzy on a tour somewhere, then Jericho won't be doing anything. But that's okay. Now, and you got to remember, Hiroshi Tanahashi will not be around through the month of July into August. Why, you may ask? It's simple. The G1, baby. G1 starts in July, the biggest wrestling tournament in the world, once again, and the man is in there. So Tekken, usually they have like 18 to 20 wrestlers. So two blocks, A and B, and they all wrestle each other in their blocks, right? And then whoever has the most points at the end face the two winners face off against each other. The winner of block A, winner of block B. This year they have 28 wrestlers in it, and they've broken it into four blocks of seven. And so then you get whoever wins A and B fights each other, and then they fight the winner of whoever wins in block C and D. So that's it's something different. They got some new faces in the G1 this year, so that's even better. My question to you is Tekken. If you have an opportunity to watch it, would you watch the G1?
What do you mean by opportunity?
Well, if you have somewhere you can find a site that plays it.
I don't have the time.
Now, now this is a month-long tournament, buddy. This is they fight almost every day with some breaks in between. So it's like, okay, would you watch the finals of the G1?
I don't know. I mean, I've no reason to, so no.
Well, check something out for the very first time. That's reason enough, don't you think?
No.
Okay, that's fine. Fine, be that way. So we'll leave that for another day. We'll talk about it next month when we hit episode 51, titled Tekken Watch the G1. Anyways, my question to you now is Vince gonna lose his job?
Well, he already stepped down, so yeah.
Well, but I mean, really lose his job. Come on. You know as
Oh,
well as I do
okay.
these things.
You mean like if he's gonna be like go back to being on the board after this?
Yeah. Well,
Eh.
he's still in charge of creative. He hasn't left. Heck,
Oh,
he showed up on Raw the other night saying John
SmackDown.
Cena's coming in. No, he showed up on
Oh, I
Raw.
didn't see that.
Yeah, he
Well,
showed
I
up at Raw
mean, no,
saying
he's not gonna
saying
lose it
Cena's
because
coming
the
back.
only way he'd lose it is if he like got fired. So he's not.
Well, he owns the shares, so he just hopes all this will go away eventually,
I
and
mean,
then he
he's.
can. And
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Is like the only people that can fire him are like the shareholders or the board of directors, and
that,
even though
and
he
that's
stepped down temporarily, it's not like permanently. And then they're not gonna. I mean, unless I don't know. I just it's it's just I mean, knowing the efficacy of that company and like all the Saudi blood money that's on their hands, it's like no. It's like he's not going unless they get rid of him, and he's not going to go willingly. So it's like it's not happening
yeah,
unless there's like this scandal is just like the 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 tip of the iceberg, and there's like way more worse stuff, but we'll see. But you know, not anytime soon, I
yeah,
guess. Especially with the whole like
yeah.
him being on SmackDown and apparently Raw. So or like yeah. So yeah, no. I mean, it could happen, but I don't see it happening. So
Oh, perfect. All right. So in the last couple minutes of our podcast here, this is where we open the door for wild cards and all that. So Tekken, what's on your mind? Wild card.
well, I did look it up while you were talking about all that stuff in Forbidden Door and the whole thing about PlayStation Plus Essential. So the thing about the games being recycled or not recycled, but the game catalog being cycled through. So there's a bullet point in one of the PlayStation blog entries about PlayStation Plus Essential. It says a monthly refresh will occur on the first Tuesday of the month for the PlayStation Plus Essential plan and both higher tiers with new PS4 and PS5 games every month. Same as what PlayStation Plus members get today. So every month they're gonna change out the or we'll see because it hasn't been a month yet. But once we see how many games stay, how many games go, like how like but I'm sure it's gonna be just like Game Pass where it's like some stay, some go, and then they just cycle through all the time anyway. So it's not like it's not like stuff's gonna like be gone and never come back, and you can never play it again in Game Pass or PlayStation Plus, uh, Essential and Premium.
Perfect. Okay.
But
So my
what
oh, go
was your
ahead.
question though, Buff? About because I just had that and I wanted to say it before I forgot about it, and I
Yeah,
had
but
it
I
pulled
can't
up in
wait
front
for
of me.
so Goat Simulator for the PS5. Can't wait for that to come out on PlayStation Plus. That's for sure. That's for sure. Anyways,
Okay, we didn't talk
listen.
about Summer Game Fest and all the new game
Yes,
announcements, but
let's talk about the stuff I didn't pay
I
attention to.
think
Yes.
for me overall it's just a disappointment because it was like not E3, and then like it didn't really match the quality or hypeness of the E3s of the past. So it's like it's getting. Well, I'm not gonna say it's getting there, but it's like I'm just like annoyed by like the injection, I'll say, of like non-gaming things into it. Like the Game Awards is like fine because that's like the way it's been with like celebrity and whatever into the Game Awards. That's just Keely's thing. But now he's all like doing it with Summer Game Fest, and that's kind of like I feel like a that's a line that shouldn't be crossed. It's like I don't want to see a Rock commercial for some energy drink and then a trailer for his movie in the middle of some game presentation. I'm there for the games and just games, damn it. All right, so don't just like start shoving all this like non-gaming stuff down my throat and my eyes and my ears, okay? Because it's like no, thank you. But whatever. So that's that. Also, the I don't know, man. I was really hoping that this console generation. I mean, I don't know if it's because of COVID and development stuff because of that, but I was really hoping that like we'd be back at the golden age of PS2 time when games were just like raining from the sky all the time, and I don't think it's happening possibly ever again because like it seems like development costs, budgets, and production time, and it's all just like it's just too much, and it's just like it's never gonna be that way again, and it's just like you get what you get and like hope that you get something that you're looking forward to, and then once something is like through the pipe from a studio that you're looking forward to their output, Last of Us Part 1, um you know enjoy that for people that want to enjoy it, but I'll pass on that one. It's like I can look forward to whatever they're working on next because that's not what I'm looking forward to. So I'm glad they're not on. I'm glad they're done with it and it's out the pipe and out the door, and they can move on to something that's hopefully better. But then it's like there's that effing. I mean, they did say like multiple projects at the same time because they staffed up, but it's like I don't care about the factions game either because it's multiplayer only, so whatever. But I mean, at least Final Fantasy 16's next summer, and
so far.
effing Reunion is next winter. So I mean, I will say about the Microsoft event, I am glad finally that they like drew a line in the sand on like we're not going to show anything that's like past 12 months because that's what needed to be done after that first Bethesda event when they did that. But then they went back and they're like, here's Starfield, here's Elder Scrolls 6, which who knows when that's coming. But like that, I'm glad there was a reining in of like the how far off are we going to show you something that is like coming soon, and then like not set your, not, like and then like tell you beforehand to set your expectations accordingly, or like temper your expectations. I'm glad that was a thing, and that like that finally happened. So like just like Microsoft like never go back and like only do that. But then they had like the whole Kojima thing where it's like Kojima's working on a game in the cloud with cloud technology or whatever, but it's like, dude, you just said you wouldn't show anything that wasn't past 12 months from now, and that's not going to be within the next 12 months. So it's like, what the f? Can you not like do that next time? I mean, it's
Mm-hmm.
cool if you. I mean, I guess it's cool if you want to have like one surprise every your little conference thing or whatever. But just like if you're gonna say you're only gonna show stuff that's in the next 12 months, don't like later on in the event have an announcement that is not going to be in the next 12 months. It's like, what the f, dude? Like, whatever. Whatever. I mean, it was yeah, whatever. I would just like restate what I said when I tweeted about like they had a good variety of games, but like nothing, nothing that's like a. I mean, for me and like what I like to play, it's like nothing. I saw nothing that was like a needle mover, and since it's all next year anyway, it's like well, it's nice that they have first party stuff, but it's not. It's like yeah, they kind of have a problem still, and like right now it's like they don't really have any first party output until next year, so we'll see. We'll see if they can ever fix that problem, or if they ever can. So yeah, if they ever can like match the output of PlayStation, because right now it's like PlayStation's got Horizon this year, Gran Turismo this year, Ragnarok most likely this year, PlayStation VR 2. The games are being shown. Presumably the hardware will be shown and announced. So it's like the train is on track for PlayStation, but Microsoft is just not quite there yet. But hey, they just keep buying studios to solve that problem, so it's like I'm sure it'll work itself out. So unless the SEC or FCC or whatever that government oversight committee is that could have shut down that acquisition, but whatever.
That's right.
I don't know. It's like I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I just whatever. It's like that's a whole other can of worms as far as like I don't feel like Microsoft has like reached their potential of like what they could be, and that they're like their portfolio of games is not as like good and diverse as PlayStation's. But it's like they're trying. They'll get there maybe, but it's like where they need to be they're not at. So I'm I mean I'm not really I'm not gonna say I'm rooting for them, but I'm not like I have no vested interest. So it's like whatever. I guess the competition just makes everybody better. So it's like them doing that just makes PlayStation put out better games more frequently. So keep up the pressure, Microsoft, and make PlayStation keep putting out those awesome games because they're on a good pace right now. Nintendo, I have nothing good to say about them, so I'm not gonna say anything. So yeah, they were supposed to have some state of play, I think, for Xenoblade 3, but whatever. That's I don't have a Switch, so it's like that's not gonna make me buy one. So, and I have nothing good to say about them most of the time anyway. And it's like it usually triggers me into like a whole rage thing. So it's like we'll just like not touch that stove while it's hot or whatever.
There you go.
Oh, Buff, we finally got the Midnight Suns thing. How'd that make you feel?
Yes, it made me feel warm in the crotch area.
Okay.
And that's a direct quote. And you can put that as the title of our
I'm not.
episode
I'm not
here.
titling this.
Warm in the crotch area.
I'm not. I'm not doing that.
No, it's good. You know something? Weirdly enough, I've been playing XCOM 2. again because they have now playing War of the Chosen, which is their add-on feature, right? And it's again it spices up the game a little bit, so I want to play it, and it's fantastic, and I thoroughly enjoy it. I know I'm falling asleep, uh, but just wait till I play golf tonight. I'm going to be passed out. Anyways,
Oh.
I have big hopes, but I they're going to be tapered with anticipation, but tapered with caution because you just don't know what you're going to get. And I just want to see, like, I had a chance to play as your heroes, beating up things, fantastic. So we'll just see what happens, and just know it's not going to be a perfect game, but as long as you're able to have some fun with it, I'm going to be happy with it. So there you go. I just want to have fun being a hero and mapping out strategy. That's all I want. And if I can do that, fantastic. That's a win for me. And Okada showed up on Dynamite tonight. So add that to the list of matches happening. I think we're gonna get a tag match, which I nailed to my boys. I said it's gonna be Okada and Hangman Page versus Jay White and Adam Cole, and I think that's what we're getting. So it'll be interesting. And if that happens, Okada's winning and Cole's taking the pin. There you go. You cannot have a Forbidden Door without Okada. He showed up, and now he's. If you're gonna, if Tanahashi's losing, Okada's winning. It's that simple. Because there's your two big stars right there. But that's enough about me. Enough about a Forbidden Door. So, young sir, we have golf in 30 minutes. So sign us out.
Uh, okay. I mean, just before we sign off, I do feel like there's like a bit, like it's not like as bad in Hollywood, but there's like a bit of like an era of regurgitation in gaming right now, where it's just like with like the Last of Us remake, the effing Resident Evil 4 remake. It's like I don't know, man. I mean, I'm fine with it because like there's always like the original, and then like the remade version. But it's like when a lot of the like high profile games that people are looking forward to are, you know, I guess that's not the case. It's just like I said, since there's like it's not PS2 time or PS2 era, and like a lot of the stuff that's effing in production. It's like
Yeah.
once
But
once more studios get like going on like whatever they're making,
yeah, but the
it
thing
it
is,
won't be as
Tekken,
much.
you're right about that with video games and movies. It's the creativity of it all is
I
gone.
didn't say the
They go
creativity, dude. I'm just saying
well,
it's
I
like
am. I am. The creativity is gone and they're going for the bucks because the bucks is what makes the industry more. It's not about taking chances. Very
I
few
don't think it's
people.
nearly as bad in gaming as is in Hollywood with like effing
It's the
Top
same
Gun and
thing.
Jurassic Park
Okay, how
stuff
many
from like
remakes of The
20, 30
Last
years
of
ago.
Us are they going to have?
I mean, they've got the remake, but they're also making the factions, so that's different. That's a completely different, uh, you know, game once that's out.
Support your independence, and they will do something that will
And they
change
said
the
they're working
world.
on multiple. They have multiple studios making on multiple projects.
Yeah.
So it's like that's just one game. Like they like whatever they have. I'm sure like that plus whatever the next four projects, like 1/5, so 20% is like just The Last of Us Part One, and then like the other four games are gonna be like new exciting things. I mean, they might be tied to like previous um like franchises that they've worked on. Because I honestly want another Uncharted game because I feel like they're at their stride in that, and just like they haven't even scratched the surface. Like the uh the expansion or the what was the effing Uncharted uh one with like Chloe and whatchamacallit. That was a great game, and it showed that like they don't need Drake and Sully in every Uncharted game. So it's like they have like an entire like cast of characters that they've built out with that franchise, and it can go in so many different directions, and I'm looking forward to it. And like I don't even feel like they've scratched the surface with that. So it's like I'm looking forward to the next Uncharted stuff. Um, and they're such a good studio, and they always do good work. So, and then like Last of Us. I mean, I was kind of on part two, but it's like I'm not I wouldn't be upset if we got a part three because there's still some unfinished business there as far as that goes without saying anything about the story. But as much as I was kind of like about effing two, I mean I wasn't about it. It's just like you know thematically it was just a bit too brutal. I felt like whereas like part one was like there was like a lot of space for empathy in part one. Part two was just rage and brutality and just like and just like it was like dude, okay, I get it. That's like a bit too much though. So could we like rein it in for the third game and have
Yeah,
like a nice balanced effing like not just like kill 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 revenge 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 violence brutality that'd be great.
oh,
Um,
I agree with you.
but yeah, as far as like effing creativity and like I completely disagree with what Buff said, dude. Like Final Fantasy 16, that looks completely different from all the previous entries in the series. So that is going to be awesome. It's like the epic boss, or like not boss, but like the summon versus summon stuff looks awesome. The 3D character action looks like effing Devil May Cry, Final Fantasy style. I cannot effing wait to play that game. And then like even I mean, yeah, I said like regurgitation, but it's like what they're doing with Final Fantasy 7 remake is like it's like very nuanced and refreshing compared to like every other remake of games that we've had so far. Because I mean, as much as I knock it, Resident Evil 3 as a remake is you know is like it's nice what they did there as far as it's not just like a one-to-one carbon copy like Resident Evil 2 was. That being said, I don't like a lot of the creative decisions they made. So I mean, so so it's like so I'm glad to see like Resident Evil 4 looks to be more of a return to form of like we're just. But that's the weird thing about 4 is like I look at 4 and I just see Resident Evil 4 again, but with prettier graphics. So it's like, but then but I think that the problem with that is like if it's like PS1 and before, everything that's brought forward through a remake looks like visually like such a upgrade, whereas like Resident Evil 2 remake, I mean yeah, it looks like way better than like the original, but it's like it's diminishing returns on like the graphical fidelity upgrade that you're going to get, like the farther on you get, like PS3 and up. It's like if you're bringing that stuff forward. I mean PS2 and I mean I guess PS2 and back actually you can bring it forward because I mean I don't know I just have like a weird thing where I look at Leon's coat from like with the fur. I'm like, did they nail it? Did they nail it? And it's just like that's just like a weird personal thing for me though. So it's like that's that. But I'm not saying games shouldn't be remade. I'm just saying it's like when there's so many of them in the like in the works of like and they're like very prominent among the stuff that you're looking forward to for like the major releases, and it's not like a lot of new fresh things. It's kind of it can be a bit underwhelming, I guess. I don't know, or maybe it's just that we need to finally get to where studios are working on a bunch of games all the time, and then you know maybe the output will get better and like there'll be more games all the time. But I guess we'll have to wait and see because it's only been since 2020 that next gen came out. So, eh. And then wow, there's another game I had in my brain that I was gonna say, effing that was a remake. Damn, Final Fantasy, Resident Evil. Oh, effing Bleak Fire, not Dark, not Demon Souls. There was another remake. I just lost it in my brain. Damn it. Um,
Damn brain.
Final
Damn you,
Fantasy.
brain.
No, I had another point I was gonna make, and I just had a brain fart.
Damn you, brain. You
Ah,
piece of
dang
you
it.
piece of trash brain.
What's what's the major? Whatever. Gaming is in a good spot. I don't believe Buff. He's or I don't believe, but I disagree with everything you just said about the whole. Because there's new games all the time, and there's like they're not all the same, and they're not all just rehashes and regurgitations. It's just the remakes, and the sequels. Sequels are kind of eh. Um, I mean, I guess I don't know. It's for the most part, gaming I think is in a good, much better place than Hollywood. Hollywood is terrible right now with like the like nobody takes a chance, and like, it's like if it's not based on a pre-existing franchise or a sequel or a interquel or a remake or a, whatever, So are we gonna bring this back after 50,000 years like Indiana Jones? Um, or bring it back again because I guess they had Crystal Skull, but just continuing on stuff that's like been in existence for like 50 years or whatever. So it's like a pop culture graveyard, and they just like pick through the pieces of like what shall we use our necromancy on today, everybody, to try to make $1 billion from this franchise. Money. So it's not that bad yet. Oh, modern. Okay, Call of Duty. I haven't played Modern Warfare, but that is a remake that is also like not a 1-to-1. That being said, I would like to see them like. It is very interesting how it turned out to where like if they made a no Russian scenario in the modern time, it would be extremely relevant, but they're not going to because it's not a 1-to-1. So it's like I haven't played the first Modern Warfare, so I'm not even sure if they like went that way with the story. But what a like effing I don't want to say a misstep, but like like what a misfire to like not be relevant in like a moment that it needed to be relevant for Call of Duty. It's like they could have had like a redo on No Russian and had it been like really relevant and like really interesting, or try to do something purposeful with it, as opposed to just being like go through an airport and kill people and kill civilians and be like, oh, isn't this shocking, like it was when it came out. And like, but that's the problem though. It's like it hit like I played No Russian. I feel like it was just not really as controversial as people were making out to be. But that's the thing. Is like for me, Call of Duty fell off after Modern Warfare 3. Well, it didn't. It probably fell off before then, but it's like I just stopped caring because it's like ultimately it's like I think Black Ops 2 was like the only really game that had like any type of like narratively had something to say or be interesting. But then that's when I never played. I just heard people say, "Oh, Black Ops 2 story is really good." So now they have like Modern Warfare 2 again, but it's like it's not No Russian, and it's who knows what. So I mean I haven't played it, so yeah, and I'm not going to. But talk about missed opportunity. And I guess that's my spiel about games and stuff, and my nice little closing monologue here about an era of regurgitation, but not completely yet. So if it gets there, you'll hear about it for sure. I mean, even
That's
look at
great.
Breath of the Wild. It's completely what okay. Well, I haven't played that one either, but like for what people are saying, people are saying that Breath of the Wild is very different from the other Zeldas and stuff and open world games in general, or even well, yeah. And then Elden Ring, people are like, oh, it's such a great open world design, so different from other open world games. I mean, I would say it's also Souls like, so it's like apples and oranges, people. That's not a good comparison. I mean, honestly, I also just feel like when I look at Starfield, I'm like, I really hope Bioware looks at a lot of these systems and incorporates them because it's like I want to play this, but in Mass Effect because it's like, oh, there's 1,000 planets, my soul, it stings. I'll be playing a crappy Bethesda game where there's no party members or dialogue trees or whatever. I'll still play it, but man, until like the whole time I'll just be like, what if this is by Bioware and it had like a really awesome story? But like I feel like that's the other thing. I feel like they gave away way too much in that trailer for like effing Starfield of like here's the effing main thrust of the story. You're going for artifacts that tell about the existence of the universe. It's like dude, you kind of just like, gave it away. What the f? Like, geez, like Cyberpunk kind of did the same thing about the chip thing. It's like, come on, like you can't just give like the main thrust if like the big game that you're gonna effing have the next effing year. But like whatever. I guess maybe that's the next lesson to learn. It's like no, don't just like show the game effing less than 12 months out. You have to like keep the main thrust or the main driving force of the story under wraps until it's out. Please, just please. Okay, I'm done. I could go on. I could talk about games all day long. So I guess I'll just stop there.
You
Man,
wanna
that's
know
weird to like
why?
wrap it up with a I'm looking forward to a Bethesda game outro. Ugh. Look how far Tekken's fallen off.
Yeah, like how far you've gone off.
What are you gonna say,
Well,
Buff, about look when you
you
I want
know,
to know why?
but you know why? Because you're the connoisseur of video game arts.
Uh,
Yes, you
okay,
are.
but so like when you're playing those games on the premium tier, are you only playing them for like 5 to 10 minutes, or like how does that work? Because that was my thing with Game Pass of like it's kind of like the second. I can't remember if it's the second rule or third rule of Fight Club where it's like one fight at a time. It's like you should really only play one game at a time until you finish it because otherwise you get you're just spinning plates and you're trying to like balance it all
Spinning plates.
before they all fall and crash or break rather.
Spinning plates. That's a good question. I played it for a little bit. Frogger's nice and quick. Hot Shots was quick. Until I played like 9 holes. I said that's good enough for me. So, so far, I haven't found that right game to play a lot of. I just gone back to XCOM 2, but I'm gonna check out this weekend and see what my options
Oh my
are.
gosh, Buff! I just thought of something.
Do we got golf in 20 minutes?
No, Fall Guys got a PS5 version, and I kind of started playing again, but I'm not back on the train.
Oh
I'm not back on the
yes,
train with the
choo
horse.
choo,
I just checked it
choo
out because
choo.
it was next gen version, and I was like, oh, I mean, it was. I know it went free to play that day, but then I saw a tweet from PlayStation. And it was like, oh, it's on PS5, and I was like, oh, I can get rid of this old smelly PS4 version, and I deleted it, and it felt great. But then it was like, well,
What?
now I'm stuck with it on PS5, and it's like, but I had to re-earn all my trophies again. It didn't just like auto whatchamacallit them, and I was like, what? So yeah. I mean, that being said, it is kind of better, but then it's like the same thing. They just have like daily, weekly, and then air quote marathon, but marathon is just until the end of the season challenges. So there's like more. I mean, they already had dailies before. I'm not sure they had weeklies before. They might have already had weeklies. I kind of stopped caring and whatever. But then they also added like a premium currency, but you can get it in the battle pass. But then you can't really buy anything worthwhile with it, so it's not really, you know, I mean, it's a good design on the free to play. They didn't go overboard and like try to like do shit up with microtransactions and all that crap. So yeah, so they didn't like
Good.
screw over everybody that's like playing it for free. So they did a good job, and it's still balanced and stuff.
That's what we want. Good. Until we get back to playing that come September.
Oh, your
Well,
Hiroshi Tanahashi is on AEW right now.
yeah, yeah, he's the man. He's the man. Anyways, that's my hint to get off here. So sign us out there, Tech.
All right, well that was a extra size issue number
Number
50.
50. Yeah, double sized. That's right.
Taking them both save the universe. I mean, it wasn't really. It could have been, but whatever.
I
Um,
mean, it could have been a
I
whatever.
mean,
What's that all
it was
about?
definitely extra sized. It wasn't double sized though. But
Well, speak for yourself.
I mean, because if we usually go for like an hour, that would have been 2 hours, and I'm looking at the time, and it says an hour and
We're
seven
we were
minutes,
an hour and 15 minutes. That's what we were.
and that's not double sized.
Close
Anyway,
enough.
that's it for this
In
episode.
in today's comic arts, that is, because I'm the connoisseur of the comic book arts. Anyways, sign us out there, big boy.
That's it for this episode of Taking a Buff Save the Universe. So until you see or hear from us again, until next episode, you've been saved, and we're now.
By the
Si-
power of friendship,
you've been saved by our friendship, and we're
even though he doesn't
now.
want to say he's friends with me.
And we're now. and we're now signing off.